Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Unfiltered with Nikki Dawson. And I'm going back to my Reddit post series where I read out Reddit posts that people have submitted and I give my 2 cents as a dietitian. And of course, it is diet and nutrition related. So I've had a quick scroll through and I have found a post in particular that I found to be quite interesting, and I feel like it is definitely something that people struggle with. So let's have a look and see. So, no, I don't want to go on the Reddit app. I've been on the Reddit app before and it was terrifying. So, this person has asked, why do we snack more while watching TV? So, do you ever get so hooked on a show that you feel like you need snacks the whole time, especially when the characters are eating something that makes you want to try it too? Do you ever see food in a show or movie and suddenly crave the exact same thing? So let's go back to the initial question. So what they asked is, why do we snack more while watching TV? And the reason being is that we're not really mindful. We're not really present in that time that we're eating that food. So we're obviously preoccupied with watching a TV show or movie, whatever it is. And if you have, like, let's say, for example, a bag of popcorn or a bag of chips, you are so fixated on what you're watching that you're just mindlessly continuing to eat. And your sort of like hunger and satiety cues, they're sort of mismatched because you've got that distraction there. So you're going to eat and eat and eat, and you're not really going to feel satisfied from what you're having at that time. So this is something that I always say to people if they find that they are overeating, or say after dinner, if they're sitting on the couch and they feel like something to eat, I always say, make up a balanced snack plate. Do not take the packet to the couch. And I know that everybody definitely is guilty of this. So when I had my first job out of uni, I lived alone in a small town and I was away from my friends and family. I mean, I did definitely have my little hobbies when I was there, and I did have a few friends, but I wasn't spending every evening with them. So my thing to do was to sit down and watch TV. It's probably the most that I have ever sat down on a couch and watched TVs or movies in my entire life. It's not something that I do. And especially here where I live, I am never home. I'm never on the couch. Like, I'm always out and about doing something, like catching up with friends, out to dinner, like going for a walk or run, something like that. At that time, I was frequently sitting on the couch and I was smashing back a massive packet of corn chips. My absolute favorite flavor of corn chips is the supreme cheese. I don't think I've really eaten corn chips in quite some time. I might have a few, but I'm definitely not smashing back a whole bag like I used to. And it's because I would take the packet to the couch and I would sit there and I would just eat mindlessly. And I was binging quite a lot at that time. And obviously, like, watching TV and having the packet on the couch didn't help. I would say a lot of the time I was just like lonely, low mood, nothing else to do. So what would have been a better idea would be to take a small plate and put a portion of the corn chips on there, and then something that's a little bit more satisfying, like something with a little bit of protein in there, then something with a bit of dietary fiber and maybe some healthy fats as well. So I would say like a piece of my bigger high protein cheese, and then a cup of veggie sticks, and then a small handful of nuts as well. So that is definitely more well-rounded, and I would be less likely to go back for another handful of chips. So I say to people, make up your plate with whatever you would like, but just make sure you've got a bit of carbs, dietary fiber, healthy fats, and protein. So some people love having a little bit of chocky after dinner, and I say, all right, chocky is a little bit of fats and a little bit of carbohydrates. So that's our portion there. And then we need a little bit of dietary fiber. So let's grab some fruit, maybe half a cup of berries. And then what else do we need? We need a bit of protein. So I would do some yogurt with that. Half a cup of yogurt. So that is definitely more of a well-rounded sort of snack. And you're less likely to be going back to the bar of chocolate and breaking off another couple of squares. So I always say to people to make up the snacky plates, and yeah, don't take that block of chocolate to the couch because you will mindlessly eat that block of chocolate. So yeah. The other thing that this person has mentioned in their post is that they often feel like eating what the person is eating in the show. And I think that's only natural to see somebody eating something and be like, oh yeah, I could really go for that. It's just like advertising, isn't it? So like you see an ad on TV for Domino's. Of course you want a pizza. That's the point of marketing. That's the point of advertising. So same goes for any TV shows or movies that you're watching where the characters are eating something. You're going to want it. So let's have a look at some of the comments that people have put. Let's have a look and see what some of the other comments are on here as well. So somebody said, well, that's just classical conditioning you've done to yourself. Ever hear of Pavlov? That name ring any bells? What is this? I don't really know the story of Pavlov, but some people have also said, yes, he ate his dog. He snacked on his dog while watching TV. So because the dog was there, he was eating it. And that's the same as the packet of chips or chocolate. It's there, so you're going to eat it. And then somebody else has said, because we've been conditioned to eat while watching, what do you do before watching a movie at the theatre? Hit that snack bar. What do you do before you watch a movie at home? Pop the popcorn. Uncondition yourself. Stop associating watching a screen with food. When you turn your screen on, your body starts signaling that it is ready for food. And yeah, that is very true. So if you are in those habits where you do sit down on the couch and you eat popcorn when you're watching a movie, then you're going to do that every time. You're going to crave that. You're going to want to do it again. So I would say you can definitely change your habits. So I would say slowly changing those habits. If you tried to sort of go cold turkey and completely cut out the food, then it may not be so sustainable. So I would be trying the little snacky plate idea first and seeing how you go. And as for at the movies, so yes, of course you're going to go to the snacky bar. I am one of those people that brings my own snacks to the movies. So my husband, however, he loves getting the popcorn at the movies and also the soft drink as well. So I will take with me a little 20-gram popcorn, which I absolutely love. I love the sweet and salty popcorn. I am not a salty popcorn or a butter popcorn girl. I just don't love that. Actually, I do really love just the sweet popcorn. You know that really colourful popcorn that we used to get as kids? You can still buy it now. Or the caramel popcorn or the toffee one. Oh my gosh. So I would much rather bring my sweet and salty popcorn with me. And then I'll often bring like a little serve of chocolate and maybe some fruit or something like that. And I will actually get a soft drink from the snack bar. So usually I'll get like, I think the cinema that we usually go to, they are a Pepsi cinema. I am not a fan of Pepsi, but if I have to, I will drink the Pepsi. But I have been known to take my own Coke Zero. because I'm a Coke Zero girly. But yeah, otherwise, my husband, he'll have the popcorn, the salty popcorn, and literally every single time that we are in the movie, he'll like hand over his popcorn box and he'll be like, do you want some? Do you want some? I'm like, no, you know that I don't like the salty popcorn. I actually really do not like it. So anyways, he'll never learn. But it's another habit as well that you can form. Like, that's just my thing. And I will always have these sort of snacks in my pantry anyway. Like, I've always got my popcorn. I've always got like the little pre-portioned servings of chocolate and some fruit. So it's really easy for me just to grab that and pop it in my bag for the cinema. So yeah, it is all about preparation and the habits that you're forming. So yeah, I would say if you do want to make a change and if you do have some goals in mind, you do need to start thinking ahead. And somebody else has said, I do, but it made me overeat calories, so now I just drink diet soda. So that's definitely a strategy that you can use if you really do feel like you need something when you are watching TV, then you can just have a drink. So yeah, I'm not surprised this person was overeating at that time. All right, let's go on to the next one. So this person has said, is oatmeal actually a healthy breakfast every day? So I eat plain oatmeal almost every morning because it's cheap, filling and easy. Sometimes I add fruit or nuts, sometimes just cinnamon. But I've been wondering, is eating oatmeal daily as healthy as people say? Or am I missing something nutritionally by not switching it up more? So this is a good one. Often people will demonize oatmeal or oats. This is an American person writing in. So there is absolutely nothing wrong with oats. And if we look at the nutritional profile of oats and, you know, what they contain, then we can get a good idea of how we can make a balanced meal with them. So oats predominantly, as a macronutrient, they are a carbohydrate, but they also contain dietary fiber and a lot of micronutrients as well. So as a base, that can be our carbohydrate. But this person has also said that sometimes they're adding a little bit of fruit. So that's going to add even more micronutrients and a bit more dietary fiber and more volume as well. So you're going to be a little bit more satisfied from this breakfast if you add a bit of fruit in. And then we can add in some healthy fats as well. So nuts go absolutely perfect with rolled oats or oatmeal. So I like almonds. I'll always put a serving of almonds in with my oats. Otherwise, you could do chia seeds or any other sort of seeds like pepitas, sunflowers, linseed as well. And then we're missing one more thing, protein. So you can definitely add some high protein yogurt in there. Otherwise, a protein powder, or you could even do like soy protein crisps as well, depending on whether it is a hot or a cold breakfast. So you probably wouldn't want to put the yogurt in with some hot oats. That probably wouldn't taste the best, but otherwise, like if it was like an overnight oats, then the yogurt goes perfectly in there, and even the soy protein crisps as well. So we definitely can make it a little bit more balanced. And there is nothing wrong with eating oats, but I'm not really sure why they are so demonized. It is a cheap product and we can utilize it to make a balanced meal. But no, it is not enough to have oats just on their own. Let's have a look at some of the comments on here. So somebody said, sure, provided you don't load it up with brown sugar and half and half. Half and half. I only just learnt what this was the other day. So half and half is actually half milk, half cream. I didn't know that this existed. It doesn't exist here in Australia, but America, it does. And it sounds so good. Obviously, you wouldn't use it for your cereal every single day because we know that cream contains a lot more saturated fat in it, and we would like to ideally prioritize healthy fats, not so much saturated fat. So yeah, don't put half and half, or don't put cream in with your rolled oats for breakfast. And also sugar. You can definitely sweeten it with some fruit in there as well. The person's just put a little sad face as a response to it. Another person has put down that their go-to is frozen blueberries and apples with cinnamon. No need for sugar. Blueberries and apples are sweet enough. They have just said what I said about the fruit. Oh my gosh, somebody has put something so weird here. They have said, put Parmesan cheese in there. Sorry, but that is a no from me. Having oats with fruit and Parmesan cheese, sorry, but that is an absolute no. Maybe ricotta cheese, but Parmesan cheese, that's taking it too far. That is crazy. Somebody said, I make overnight oats with yogurt, apple, and cinnamon, some raisins to sweeten, add blueberries or strawberries in the morning. My favorite breakfast ever. Yeah, that sounds perfect. So definitely a lot more balanced. Chuck some nuts in there or seeds so we can get some of those healthy fats in there. But otherwise, that sounds really good. Somebody else has said it's good for fiber and a great carrier for other fats and protein. I recommend adding something like a scoop of nut butter or even dried peanut butter to get some fats and protein in addition to the fruit as a sweetener rather than brown sugar. But overall, yes, it's a good option. So yeah, this person's come up with putting nut butter in there, which is also good. I would say there is not enough protein in just the nut butter or the dried peanut butter alone. So you would definitely need to add in another protein source. But otherwise, peanut butter is good for the healthy fats as well. So yeah, I like that response. So yeah, a lot of people are being really positive about the oats and having the same opinion as me, that we need to add a little bit more in there. So to make it a balanced meal and to make sure that you're feeling satisfied from your breakfast meal, because it is going to set you up for the rest of the day if you are having a good meal in the morning. Otherwise, you're going to get to morning tea and you're going to be starving. And then also at the end of the day, you're going to have that slump in your energy levels as well. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. Okay, so I think that's enough for today. I don't want to make these episodes too long. So yeah, I hope everybody found this episode interesting and could take something away from it. So yeah, anyways, I will hopefully be back with another episode next week. I'm not making too many promises because I've been a busy gal lately, but hopefully I'll be back in your ears again next week with another Reddit series. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.